Good morning, people. Back on the Wainwright bagging this week. We're doing one called the Stonethwaite Medley. It's 6 Wainwrights and the first one is called Eagle Crag. We were doing a bit of research into this route. Apparently Eagle Crag's really sketchy and I watched a few videos and I don't know whether they're over exaggerating, but it does look a bit dangerous. Looks like it's quite steep and you can fall off the side. But I was reading Wainwright's book yesterday when we were planning the walk and he said you don't want to be coming up this in bad weather and mist. So we've parked in Stonethwaite. He was saying that you want to ascend it from here and not descend. The walk is apparently 8 to 9 hours and 13 miles. But I'm parked further up the road by Borrowdale because we camped there last night and then we just drove up in my brother's camper then. So I could possibly finish the last Wainwright, which I think is Castle Crag, the smallest one. I've done that before. And then I could grab my car and drive us back down here. Weather's predicted to be a bit rainy today, but it's not looking too bad as of yet. But I think we might be good. But it's quite warm, man, considering. Only wearing long sleeve because of the mosquitoes and stuff. So by the looks of it, that's Eagle Crag there. Not gonna lie, I can see why that's gonna be sketchy. It looks quite steep and like a bit of a climb. But we'll see when we get up there in a minute. We started about 15 minutes ago and a bit of a late one today. It's about 10 o'clock now. We had some car troubles. I had to fix that, so hopefully we can get into Keswick for a pint tonight before we drive home. So we were reading on the map last night that there's a place called Galleny Force Waterfall which we've just come across. Seen loads of people on Instagram taking pictures here, but we've just brought our swimming stuff as well just in case, so we're gonna go in for it now. Might as well, got all day anyway, so we've got a towel with us. Now you only live once, don't you? What are we saying? Mate, it's cold, but it's got to be done, hasn't it? Oh, it's so cold, man. Oh, painful. Oh.
Freezing?
Yes, people. Sip it. 3, 2, 1, go. Head. Woo. Well, that was a fun start to that walk anyway. The waterfall's nice and refreshing to start the day. Woke me right up and we're not far off Eagle Crag, it's just in front of us. Haven't started our descent yet. So we're following the path off U Ranger through ferns. Says we're en route. Not good. Can't even see where you're going. I'm not sure if this is very well travelled or this is even a path, but apparently it is. It has been walked through here before though, so it must be. What? There's the path right there. Oh, so it turns out the path right there. We were just off the path and someone has walked next to it, made a bit of a walkthrough, but probably a sheep path to be honest, or a sheep track. Back on track anyway for now. We will get a Wainwright box at some point today. It's about 11 o'clock now as well. Just starting our ascent now. Looks quite steep this, to be honest. Straight up there. At least one positive is we've seen 2 people on the route ahead of us and they haven't turned back, so should be good. Has been a steep start. It's just been coming through a bit of a muddy path with ferns everywhere. Starting to get rocky. Fence a bit rattly. So I'm assuming this is the part he's saying a bit sketchy. I can totally understand if in the winter or the mist, as he said, you wouldn't necessarily want to tackle it because it's a bit dangerous, as you can see there. It's not particularly that bad, it's just you wouldn't really want to slip down that. They're ahead saying it's a bit slippy, but it's not too bad. Got views there.
We definitely on path.
Yeah, we're good, we're good. Just coming up to the summit. You can see where that'd go wrong, like in the winter. We went off path a bit and it drops over the side of the treacherous, mate, you just die if you fell. But it's all good. Wouldn't recommend coming up here in mist though, as he said, because it gets to the point where you can't really, sometimes you can't tell where you're going, to be fair. But anyway, we're up it now, so all good. That weather's starting to descend, that it was saying on the reports. But yeah, we're on the summit here. It said in the Wainwright book it had a cairn, but don't think it's here anymore. A lot of that stuff's quite old information, so it changes all the time. But the views are sick from here, man. You can see all how far we've actually come. That was a bit of an experience anyway. Quite fun. Near on 12 o'clock and we've only done the first of the day. Second one of the day is called Sergeant Crag. Right in front of it, to be honest. Just over there. Maybe take 10 minutes to get to. But it seems like we've done a lot of the ascent. But I know later on towards the end we're going to have to descend to roads level to go up to Castle Crags. I've been up that before. Looking at Eagle Crag from this perspective, you can see that is really sketchy, mate. Sergeant Man boxed, 571 metres. Over there now. All the way back on ourselves. Quite far away, the next one, Ullscarf. Go a few miles. About halfway up to Ullscarf. Just come across the land there. Fairly muddy over them ways. Wet, man. It's all splashing up my legs. Quite a nice walk this though, I like it. And the weather's perfect. Come a bit off path there, ends up in a little boulder field. This don't look very well travelled, to be honest. We've got back on the route and just walked through like boggy grass and stuff. We ain't got that far to go to the next Wainwright. And then we'll take a break and have some lunch. We have to take an early lunch break there. Everyone was getting a bit tired and dips in energy. It's just a bit barren around here, and apparently, looking at the book, the summit's just a fence line, so nothing to look at. Ullscarf summit, you can see the old fence post. It looks like they've been removed over time because it does run down there. Grass down there. Views around here are nice though, man. You've got views of everywhere. Good stuff. Third one of the day. Just reading on the GPS there, that was 726 metres, which is quite high to be honest. We didn't even think it was that high, but obviously we've ascended quite a bit. Next Wainwright's called Great Crag, 440 metres. So we're dropping off about 300 metres now, which is quite a lot. The paths aren't very worn as you can see ahead of us. And we've dropped down considerably. The last mile or so we noticed on the GPS that there was actually no path anymore, and we've just had to walk across bog basically, coming up to a tarn which it actually looks like it's got another path here. So I'm assuming people, rather than going back on themselves because there's no path, they've just carried on across the land, and I wouldn't really recommend this route if I'm being honest, coming this way. Finally coming back onto a path. Quite a few people knocking about here. That's called Dock Tarn. It's more like a big pond. There's Dock Tarn. Actually looks quite nice to look at, but it's not nice to swim in. Got up to Great Crag. Terrain around here is completely different to most places in the lakes. That's where we're going next, miles away, and then looping back over the road through the forest. Been going for 5.5 hours, and we've still got 6.5 miles to go. So we've got 2 more left, Grange Fell and Castle Crag. Just done a big descent off there in the background. My brother decided to turn in and went home early because of the time. Needs to get home. We've got about 5.5 miles left and it's 4 o'clock now, so it's getting on a bit, but we've still got loads of light and we're just going to push on now. The fells have been really good, the views and stuff, but in terms of the path it's been terrible. Probably on the worst we've done, if not the worst. But anyway, we'll just crack on to this next one. Got a good few miles to this, about 2, and then funnily enough we've left our car by Castle Crag, even though we started in Stonethwaite because we got a lift this morning, so should shave about a mile off it. So we're just reading the Wainwright books there, and it says Grange Fell is basically multiple summits. Bit of a weird one, but on the actual GPS it says we're on Grange Fell here. We'll just run over to Grange Fell anyway, so we're next to it, and it's on the path on the way back. Grange Fell, aka Grange Fell. I don't know, but it's another one off the list. So just to show you how bad these paths are on this one, right, we've just come from up there where Grange Fell was, and we've just come through loads of ferns and stuff. Apparently we were on the path, and anyway, it's just non-existent, and now we've just come onto a real path, and look at it. Where's that end? It just ends there, and then where'd you go? Honestly, like, this has been the worst for navigation ever. There's a stile there. Look at this, man. Just fern everywhere. This might be alright in the winter, I don't know. Just had another read of the Wainwright book, and the summits for Grange Fell were actually Brund Fell and King's How. Brund Fell was the one we were on over there before, and King's How was up there. But obviously one or the other, take your pick. I'm sure you can come either way, whichever one you want. So we're starting to descend quickly here. So we've just met a guy who was walking through the forest, and he was picking mushrooms or something. He was in his probably 70s, and he was saying to us then, you know, about like the vegetation and stuff, all the greenery at this area. He said this is his favourite part of the Lake District. He said the only reason this area is so green is because there's no sheep allowed here. Whoever runs this part of the forest doesn't let them in. But who knows, man. Very interesting point though, if it's true. So we're back on road level. My car's parked probably a mile back that way. We've got to go all the way to the bridge down here on the left to get back over to the side of Castle Crag. I done this Castle Crag a few months ago in the winter, but obviously Dom hasn't done it. It's only probably an hour out the way now. Our car is literally over the river from Castle Crag, which isn't that bad considering we started in Stonethwaite, as my brother's already gone home, so we don't have to drop him back off. Been walking for 8 hours and 12.1 miles. We're just underneath Castle Crag. It's up there. And I know from last time, it's quite steep the ascent, but short. It's only 290 metres, the smallest Wainwright. But all good when you're doing one fell. When you've been walking all day, not so good. But anyway, we're about to come up to it. And I think we should be up there in the next 20 minutes. And then we're good. And probably gonna run through the river back to the car. But we're not too bothered about getting our boots wet this time. Swear it gets steep the last bit. Not far off the summit, but it just gets really steep now. Got a little viewpoint here. We were parked in a distance somewhere originally, but our car's actually down there, so we'll descend over the river onto the road. Six down, last one done. Castle Crag. Knackered, man. See what that's actually took us. 8 hours and 15 minutes. And we've got about half an hour back to the car. Good walk though. Just got to get back the car now. Just sheep everywhere rustling. This where we camped in the last video. Right there, between those trees. We're going to try and cross the river there, and the car's just up the road from here. Walk ends up being about 14.5 miles and took 9 hours according to view ranger, but just take into account that we never ended where we started because the car was parked up the road, and also we went to that waterfall earlier on in the day and we were there for probably about 30 minutes. But in terms of the walk, it was probably got some of the best views I've seen, but the worst terrain by miles. There was just overgrowth everywhere, ferns and bushes, and you couldn't see any of the paths. And I don't know how many times we must have went off path just purely because of that. And also with Grange Fell, we'd done a little research on it then on Google, and I think you can class it as 3 different fells, which I'll link in the description so you know what I'm talking about. But I ended up doing one of them at least anyway, so I'm happy for that to count as the Wainwright. Knackered, and it's quite late as well, so we've got a couple of hours home. What I would say with my view range, I used the information from it, but I probably wouldn't follow it if I was you, because I think that walk can just get to your places, but it's worth having a look. So as always, I'll link everything in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.